Good day everyone, my name is Johanna Christine Febernenggolan and today I would like to present my understanding to the topic 3 and topic 4 of this introduction to discourse analysis. And the first one is grammar from a discourse perspective. So discourse based grammar makes a strong connection between form, function and context and aims to place appropriateness and use at the center of its description. Larson Freeman stated that form, meaning, and use need to be at the basis of all grammatical descriptions. So that, in another words, discourse-based grammar acknowledges language choice, promotes awareness of interpersonal factors in grammatical choice, and can provide insights into areas of grammar that lack of explanation. And discourse-based analysis are also useful for looking at the relationship between vocabulary items in text. For example, the relationship between it and others, which are referring to inside or outside of the text. There are two important attributes for the analysis of discourse. The first one is the unity of texture and then the unity of structure. The first one is the unity of structure, refers to patterns which combine together to create information structure, focus and flow in a text, including the schematic structure of the text. And then unity of texture refers to the way of resources such as patterns of cohesions create cohesive and coherent text. The result of texture is when language items tie meanings together in the text and to social context where the text occurs. There are many ways to achieve the unity of texture. The first in a text, the first one is cohesion and discourse. Cohesion is the relationship between items in a text such as words, phrases and clauses, and other items such as pronouns, nouns and conjunctions. And then reference. Reference is the situation where the identity of an item can be retrieved from either within or outside the text. There are anaphoric, sataphoric, exaphoric and homophoric reference. And then lexical cohesion is the relationships in meaning between lexical items in a text. There are many kinds of lexical cohesion. They are repetition, synonymy, antonymy, hyponymy, meronymy, and collocation. And then the next is collocation. Is association between vocabulary items which tendency co-occur after a particular word, such as combination of adjective and noun. For example, real estate agent. And collocation is only there are only certain words collocate each other. And then conjunction, it contributes to textures of a text. For example, conjunction refers to words. For example, however, finally, and moreover, however, and etc. And then substitution and ellipsis. Substitution is when a substitute form is used for another language item, phrase, or group. For example, try to read this book that once not very good. So once substitute to the noun book. And then the next point is attitude and grammar. Attitude is an evaluation of a phenomena. It can be positive or negative attitudes, and can be expressed implicitly or explicitly. We can express it explicitly through the use of individual lexical items, while it is expressed implicitly when through the process of implicature. The expression of attitudes may not always be clear, since it may not be directly expressed in the text, and it may need be to it may need to be expressed from the context of the text. And then the next point is grammar and engagement. Grammatical resources also aims to express engagements. Engagement is concerned with the sourcing of attitude and acknowledgement of voices in a text. The main ways in which engagement expressed is through attribution, modality, disclaimers, and proclaimers. Attributions means when someone refers to the words, views, or thoughts of another source or person. Giving attribution means we evaluating the material. They may be support the material, or it is called as endorsement, or they may not support the material, or it is called as disendorsement, and or they may be neutral to the material, or it is called as non-endorsement. While modality means that speaker or writer may use modal items such as always, normally, and possibly to express certainty, usuality, and probability. And then the next point is grammatical differences between spoken and written discourse that have implication for discourse analysis. The first difference is grammatical intricacy and spoken and written discourse. So writing is more structurally complex and elaborate than speech. Grammatical intricacy is the relationship between clauses in spoken discourse can be much more spread out and with more complex relation between them than in writing. And then the next difference is lexical density in spoken and written discourse. It is the ratio of content words to grammatical or function word within a clause. In spoken discourse, content words tend to be spread out over a number of clauses rather than in written discourse. And then the third difference is nominalization and grammatical metaphor in written and spoken discourse. There is a high level of nominalization in a written text. Nominalization is actions and events are presented as nouns rather than as verbs. Halliday calls this phenomena as grammatical metaphor, means that a language item is transferred from a more expected to the grammatical class to another. In written text, typically use longer noun groups than spoken text, so that the information in the text is more tightly packed into fewer words and less spread out in spoken text. And the fourth difference is a continuum of differences between discourse between spoken and written discourse. Some spoken text may be more implicit, whereas written text may often be more explicit. Speaking and writing draw on the same grammatical system, but they encode meaning in different ways. Spoken and written style may intermingle with each other, but they are typically associated with spoken language, may also occur in writing language, such as informal letters, email, text messages, and advertising. So in conclusion, there is no simple differences between spoken and written discourse, but these differences are most seen as being on a scale or in a continuum. And then the next topic is an overview of functional grammar. There are three kinds of meaning. The first one is we use language to talk about our experience of the world, and then we use language to interact with each other, and then the third one, in using language, we organize our messages. Functional grammar is the study of linguistic forms in relation to the meanings that they express. We can set up a group of meanings relating to what the speaker expects to the hearer to do. For example, the functional difference between giving information, and asking for information. We can match this with sets of lexicogrammatical resources typically used to express the meanings. Include different choices in the ordering of certain elements in the clause. For example, you are versus are you. And then there are three meta functions. The first one is experiential, and then the second one interpersonal, and then the third one is textual. Experiential is using language to talk about the world. Interpersonal is using language to interact with each other, and textual is organizing language to fit it in context. So that my understanding regarding the topic 3 and topic 4. Thank you for listening. See you next week.